from? And she said, we're in USA, Boston. Is that right? And so I said, wonderful. And so we took the opportunity of inviting some of our people. And I know we've got some people from England that have also traveled to Boston to be there. Now, I can't see all the names, but I know I can see Sister Samika, Sister Thomas, Sister Gillian's there. I can't see the rest. And my family at home are also on. I'm not, if there's any others, please let me know because I'm not able to have a look. But there's a group of us all the way from Welling SDA Church in Kent in England who are here coming to Boston to be with you today. And it's a wonderful opportunity. So I say, first of all, thank you for allowing us, all of us from England, to join you in America. And today our program, we're going to be making natural face care products. My family and I have been making natural skincare products for years. It was many years ago. I wasn't happy with the chemicals in all the products, and the Lord put in my mind a way to make natural products. So we started making them, and we've now set up a ministry called Heaven Sent, as in heaven and SCENT, where we sell products, we make, and also since lockdown, we've been starting to teach people how to make their own products. And the most important thing is empowering people, showing you how you can take a very few simple products, ingredients, to make your own care. Why would you make your own? It's cheaper, you know what's in it, and it's so good for your skin. They make wonderful gifts. And so today, we're going to be concentrating on making face care products. There's lots of face care products in the market, and believe me, they are loaded with chemicals. The chemicals upset our hormonal system. They cause lots of damage to our body. Lots of really quite serious, harsh chemicals, even baby care. They've got harsh chemicals. But what we're going to be using is natural things that you can get, sometimes in your own garden. So let's have a look at what we're going to be making. We're going to start off by making a rose toner and a rose cleanser for your face. You can get them in a shop, but we're going to make our own. Rose toner, rose cleanser. Then we're going to be making about 5 wonderful lip balms. So simple, great for children to make. Lovely lip balms. And then we're going to make natural rose butter for the face. Really simple things we're making. So, are you ready to make with me? Those of you who've got ingredients and making with me, please make along. Those of you who haven't, I'm sure we can arrange to get the recording sent to you so you can get the ingredients at a later date and make them. Okay, let us start. The main ingredient we're going to be using is rose. Now, I've got some roses here. Yeah, they look as if they're just about to die, but don't throw roses away. Don't just throw roses away. They can be used for other purposes, and today we're going to be using the rose petals. Now look what I'm going to do here. I've got a bowl of some rose petals. This is a dry, old roll. I let it dry, and look what I'm going to do. I'm just taking the leaves, they're literally crumbling. I'm taking all the leaves, the petals I mean, and then this one, what I'm going to do also is, this is a little one's a bit more light. What I'm going to do also is, this is again live, fresh rose petals. So the ingredients we're using today is rose petals. You can buy them really dry, but also many people have rose bushes in their garden. Don't just throw them away. I'm going to show you what you can use today. Here we go. This is our rose petals. Let me tell you something about rose petals. Rose petals are antioxidant powerhouse, full of antioxidants. They strengthen the skin cells and they heal and regenerate skin tissues. They are healing hydrator, excellent for hydrating the skin and making it lovely and soft. You're going to like this one. They're a wrinkle eraser, loaded with vitamins A and C, which aids in collagen production. And collagen you need to keep your skin soft and supple. It reduces redness in the skin. It has astringent properties which tighten the skin. Antibacterial, fights acne and different outbreaks of the skin. It's also very moisturizing to the skin. Helps with dark circles under the eyes as well. These are all the things that rose petals do. Many of them have them in our gardens. Many of us we just trim them. And we see the petals, but the petals are valuable. They smell beautiful, but these beautiful properties, we're going to make a rose toner. You know, you can buy rose water in the shop, but I know they've got things to preserve it. We're going to make a fresh rose petal. Let me show you what you're going to need. You're going to need about 4 tablespoons of dried rose petals. Let me say one more thing. Do you see I took some fresh rose petals? If you've got some fresh rose petals, if you're going to use them, you can either pour hot water and use them fresh, or if you wanted to dry them, put them on a tray and leave them for about a week, not 2 or 3 days until they're dry, and then you can use them in the ways I'm going to show you today. My pastor had loads of rose bushes, and every now and again he'd say, come Jackie, come and take, and I used to cut them down, take the roses, and use them for different things. So let's make the rose toner. And what you're going to need is about 4 tablespoons of dried rose petals. And for this one, you can also use the fresh ones. So if you know you've got fresh rose petals around, like I have, take about 5 or 6 tablespoons of your fresh rose petals. I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of dried rose petals. You need about 150 mils of boiling water. Now, I've boiled my water before, so if you're making, let's put the kettle on and boil some water. And so what I'm going to do now is put my rose petals into my jug. I'm going to pour on my boiling water, and you can see already it's starting to take the colour away from the rose petals. You'll notice the rose petals will start to go light, and the water will start to get dark. So what I'm going to do now is to leave it sit, and we're going to come back to it. Give it a stir. What we're going to do is leave it to the side. We'll come back shortly. So that's 4 tablespoons of rose petals. That's 150 ml of your hot water, and we're going to leave it to sit. Okay? Wonderful. Let's leave that. We're now going to move on to making some lip balms. Lip balms are wonderful for this time of year. The lip balms protect your lips. And one important ingredient we have for lip balms is beeswax. Here we go. I've got some yellow beeswax, the pellets. I've got some beeswax pellets. Beeswax moisturizes, and it's a natural emulsifier, so it's going to turn an oil into a balm. And they protect your lips, especially if they're chapped or they're sore. And it protects the skin. It's anti-inflammatory properties. And it also hydrates the skin. You need our skin, all parts of our body need hydration for them to be nice and healthy. Removes itching, reduces stretch marks, treats eczema, heals and restores the skin. So that's our beeswax. So, let me go through the recipe and what you're going to need. You're going to need about 5 little empty lip balm containers. Can you see that? They're quite little. I've got 5 here. This recipe will make 5. And I got my niece to make me little labels of the different fragrances, so you can put little labels on. You're going to need some almond oil. Almond oil is wonderful, and it's a very deep moisturizing oil. Helps to rejuvenate your skin, improves complexion, improves the tone. Almond oils are wonderful. However, if you are allergic to nuts, you can use something called apricot kernel oil. It's another light oil like almond oil, and you can use either of them. Or if you don't have these, you can use any oil of your choice. Whatever oil you have in the kitchen, just use it just so that you can practice. It will still work. These are just lighter oils, which are quite nice for lip balms, but whatever oil you have in your kitchen, you can use. So we're going to need 60 mils of our oil, half a tablespoon of our beeswax, and then an essential oil. I'm going to use lavender. Lavender essential oil is really healing. I'm now going to go through how you make your lip balm. 2 ways you can do it. The slow method is to put this in hot water, so the hot water will melt it. Because of time, I'm going to do the quick method. Just got my little hot plate here. I'm going to put this on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of my almond oil. So I've got my almond oil here. 4 tablespoons or 60 mils of almond oil into the pot. Do you see it okay? Yeah? Okay. 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tablespoons of almond oil are going into the pot. Then I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of my beeswax. 1 tablespoon of beeswax into the pot. Okay, there we go. Right, my hot plate is heating up. What you need to do now is to melt it. Melt it on a very low heat. Now, don't turn your back on it. I've got mine right in front of me because it will melt quickly. And what I do, I periodically take it off from heat, then I take it off, put it back on. And what we want to do is we want to melt the beeswax. And we're going to melt it until all the beeswax we mixed with the oil. Beeswax, it's important to melt the beeswax. Beeswax are hard. When I first started to make products, I didn't understand that. I melted the beeswax by itself, made it into a product, and what happened? The product came out as hard as rock. I learned my lesson. So beeswax needs to be melted into the oil so that it becomes not a hard substance like beeswax, but a softer substance like a balm. And as I said before, beeswax is a wonderful moisturizer. So I'm just taking this off, giving it a stir. It's starting to melt. That's just starting to melt. And then once that melts, optional, you can put a teaspoon of honey into your lip balm. Honey is another excellent protector. It protects the lips and also antibacterial. It's optional. You can put a teaspoon, but and then it mix everything together. So it's nearly there. I'm going to give it another little moment in here. So I'll say that again. We put 4 tablespoons of your oil to 1 tablespoon of the beeswax. I'm going to turn this off now. So, I'm put my wood over here so I can put my hot pan down. So now, it's all melted in here. It's just melted oil. Beeswax, I can't see the beeswax anymore because it's purely melted. So I've got pure oil and beeswax or liquid. So now, the next thing, if you wanted to put honey, you could put a teaspoon. I'm now going to put my lavender. And the recipe calls for about, let's have a look, it says about 10 drops of your choice of essential oil. But what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get used to smelling. About 10 drops is good for this recipe, but smell. Some people like a little less, some people like a little more. So I've got lavender. You can put, there's chamomile, there's lemongrass, there's citrus, orange, lemon, lime. So many different ones. And you can choose the different fragrance you want. I'm going to use lavender for today. So I'm going to put about 10 drops into my pot. Let's do that now. Okay, and you notice I haven't put a spoon in here because anytime a cold surface gets the oil, it will set away. So all I'm going to do now is to give it a mix by holding a saucepan. Now, if there are any questions at any time, could you put them in the chat? And at any point, I think the questions can come to me. So any questions at any time, please put them in the chat. And also in the chat, I have my email address. So if you want any other information, you could contact me. So you can put that in the chat. That will be in the chat also. So I'm going to give this a smell now. It smells good, but you know what? I want a couple more drops. I like the smell of lavender. There we go. So now, good, smells good. And I've waited a few moments so it's not too hot because these containers are plastic. So I've waited a few moments so I can at least touch the pan so it's not too hot. And all I'm going to do now is pour my lip balm into the container. I'm just going to create a bit more space by putting the flowers over here. Wonderful. I'm going to stand for this. I've got a bit of angle. Here's my lip balm containers. And I'm simply going to pour, I hope that you can see here, I'm going to pour the lip balms into each container. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so if you have a look so far here, I think I've got a bit of space to fill this one a bit more. Let's just fill that one. Wonderful. That is all there is to making lip balm. Teach your children how to make this because they'll be there making for you. Children can have their own little ministries where they're making little products and selling them or doing things for charity. This is all there is. Can you see? We're going to leave that to set for about 10-15 minutes, and that's all there is to your lip balms. Don't put the lid on it yet until it's set. So I'm going to put it to the side and wait until they're set, and we'll come back to it. At this point, are there any questions on the first part of the toner or the lip balm? Any questions so far?
Some questions were placed in the chat.
Are there any questions in there?
Yes, I can read them for you.
Please, sir, could I read it for you?
One of the questions are, can orchid leaves be used?
Orchid leaves would probably give you, I'm sure they could be used, but there'll be different properties. I'm not quite sure the orchid, I'd have to look up the orchid, the properties. I'm sure orchid leaves are very good, but I need to go and find out the property of orchid leaves. Each leaves have all got different properties. So I'm sure if you use the orchid leaves, you certainly can. But we'd have to go and find out the properties and see what would be beneficial to use for.
Okay, thank you. What are the other base oils that can be used apart from almond and apricot? How do you make this example consistency or what?
Okay, any other oils you can be, okay, there's many, you could use any oil of your choice because the oil and the beeswax will firm. The best ones are like almond and apricot because they're very light. However, but you may be allergic to almond, you can use apricot. You have olive oil. You could use any oil, whatever oil. This is just one recipe. But when you make products, it's good to use what you have and experiment. So once you have an oil, I'm showing you the basis of an oil and the beeswax. You multiply together to get a balm. Whatever oil you have, oil and whatever. And the beeswax, put it together, it will balm. If you haven't got beeswax, you could even use shea butter and coconut oil because they're both hard with a little bit of maybe liquid oil, and it will firm up. So you could use whatever you have. What the purpose is, you want a hard beeswax to emulsify it, or something like shea butter and coconut oil, which will also firm it up. But in hot weather, they will melt. But these will stay hard in cold, in hot weather. So whatever oil you have, experiment. But I've used these ones because they're a lighter oil for the lips.
Perfect, thank you. And the third question in the chat is,
all right. I want to ask a question in terms of these petals. Can any other petals like marigold petal be used?
Yes, now then, I'm glad you said that because I do another class where I show you what you can make out of marigold. If you've got marigold, do not throw the dead flowers away. Hold on to your petals. Maybe
I have a lot.
Okay, what I'd like you to do, my sister, keep petals and speak to Sister Keisha. I'll come on again at another time and I'll show you what you can do with those marigold petals. I'll show you how to make other body butters, amazing things. So I'll have a chat with Keisha. Maybe I can come on again. We'll arrange another time and I'll show you what you can do with your marigold petals. So don't throw them.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful properties in marigold. I've made baby powder out of marigold. I've made body butters. And
Mr. Lord.
there is a third question about, is there a cooling down period?
So now, sorry?
There's a third question about, is there a cooling down period before adding the essential oil?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Is there a cooling down period before adding the essential oil?
Yes, I was doing that because when I took it off the fire, I was talking to you, and if you notice, I was just making sure that it was quite cool. I didn't put the essential oil straight on after.
I think there's a little internet issues. My screen is frozen.
When it gets too cool, it will start to harden again. If that's the case, put it back on the fire and it will melt. And
About how many seconds would you say for the cooling down?
a minute or so, but you can test. I was able to hold the pan hand hot. When I did that, it's cool enough because it can't be too hot because I can hold it. So I did that, about a minute. Once it's hand hot, then you put your essential oils and then you put it into your containers.
We did notice that some people use the little jars for lip balm. Some people use the tubes. So can the little tubes, the old tubes be used that you have an old lip balm, and
Yes, you certainly can. Another way you can do, I also have the tubes. You could use tubes, I have those as well. But what you could do is you get a syringe and you syringe the recipe into the tube and you get a perfect lip balm. So the same recipe can be used for the tube. I do have the tubes as well. So but the easiest way to get them in is to syringe it in because it's quite far, small. So get a little syringe, put the mixture in a syringe and squirt it right in. I'll be doing the same thing I'm doing a project with children at school and they're learning I'm teaching them how to make lip balm and they're going to be selling it to their peers. So I'll be doing the same thing again. Between the tubes and the containers. So it's wonderful to do with children. But yes, to answer your question, you can use a tube, same recipe, and then you can twist up.
Perfect. And another question is, how do you apply the rose petals to your skin?
Okay, very simple. We've got a spray bottle, the rose petal toner. Are you saying? Okay. Yeah, basically, and we're going to make this any minute, it's a spray bottle, spray, and then just rub it in. Simple as that. And it's so good. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to remember you've just put some rose petals. And now what we're going to do is simply strain them out. Okay? So, what I'm going to do, I've just got to get a second jug. Now, you see, your rose petals will be lighter now, and you can see the water is taking the colour of the rose petals. So what I'm going to do is get yourself a sieve, and let's sieve it through now. Now take a spoon and press out. You want all this valuable liquid. I'm putting all my rose petals in here. Pressing down. And what I've got in here is rose petals. It's as easy as making a cup of tea. Simple as that. Easy as making a cup of tea. Now, get yourself a bottle, and I've got a little label here saying rose petal toner. If you've got a label, cut it out, stick it on. Or I'm sure if you've got any young person, they'll help you to make little labels. So now, I'm simply going to pour in here is my rose toner. Can you see that? simple as making a cup of tea. Spray it on your face. Others have told me it tightens the skin. It feels so good. But please do not throw this away. Take some of the pulp and just massage it on your face, and you're going to get all the properties of this. There's still some properties left in here, so take it and rub it on your face. It will feel amazing. Now, I even put this in my hair. Spray it in your hair. It's got wonderful benefits for your hair. Try it. I think you will like it. This will last about a week to 2 weeks if it's in the fridge. Remember, it's water and it's fresh. So anytime after that you see mold growing on it. So make small amounts. Use it within a week or so. Someone said up to 2 weeks they use those. And then make some new. So, or if you don't want to make, you could make it and freeze it. But I just like to make smaller amounts, use it up, and make again because it's so easy to make. So this is rose petal toner. Easy. I'm now going to show you how you can make a cleanser. Here's our cleanser. I'll just get there. So, what you're going to need, I'm just going to wipe out the excess hair. Wonderful. Okay. To make a cleanser, you're simply going to need some glycerin. Glycerin, okay? It's about 50 mils of glycerin. It's a white, thick liquid called glycerin. Okay? And 50 mils, about half this bottle full. You're going to need 50 mils of your toner, just 50 mils of toner. So quite simply, and then you're going to need about 12 drops of lavender essential oil. So let's first of all put my glycerin in, my measuring jug here, and I'm going to measure 50 mils. It's a very thick liquid. And they use it many times to make tinctures in high rates. It keeps in moisture. And the problem sometimes with our skin is if our skin is dry, it will crack, then you get lots of problems. What glycerin does, it locks in moisture and it smooths the skin, and it has healing properties and it cleanses. That's why we has one of the main ingredients in the cleanser. So I'll put 50 mils of my glycerin in, and now I'm going to take my toner that I've just made, and I'm going to add 50 mils. The same toner that I've just made, I'm going to add 50 mils into the jug. So let's take this off. Taking 50 mils of my toner. Let's just measure. Now a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to put some lavender. I'm going to put about 12 drops of lavender in here. And then I'm going to give it a good stir. This is so simple. And then I'm going to smell. Oh wow, it smells good. I think Zoom has to invent something where the participants can smell what I'm smelling. So I'm giving it a good stir. And then I'm going to get my next spray bottle. I've got a label on it saying cleansing lotion. Stuck a label on it saying cleansing lotion. And now I'm going to pour it into the bottle. A little bit short, so I'm just going to add a drop more toner in here. There you go. Put on the lid. Screw it tight. We have rose petal cleanser, and you can cleanse your skin with it. You can put some in a little cotton wool bud and just cleanse, or you can put it straight on. Warm water, cleanse your skin, and then you add your toner afterwards. Simple as that. There's your cleanser, and you know something? I started to put this in my hair, and it's amazing. Even you see, these products are not only for one thing. You could even use it in your hair. It's wonderful. So let's have a look at the two things we have made: the toner and the cleanser. Any questions? Any more questions regarding the cleanser? Or any questions on the cleanser before I move on? No?
I need the questions in the chat. Give me a second. All right, so the questions in the chat for one was can you add a preservative to the rose water to keep it longer? That's a toner.
You certainly can. You could add grapefruit seed extract to preservative. You could put little vitamin E oil. You could use those. But again, even if you put those preservatives, they're all natural preservatives, so water over time will spoil. So after 2-3 weeks, it's much better and more fresher and more nutrients if you have a fresher one. You see, you could put some of those things in, and they could work to a certain extent. But I think it will be better if after 2 weeks. I think even if you had some of those, it might hold it a little longer. But I think you'll have more nutrients and a better product if you made a new one. And it's better to make small amounts and use. But if you wanted it for just a longer shelf life, then maybe you can freeze it and then put it in a bottle. But then you could put a few of those. So you could put grapefruit extract, vitamin E oil, and then what you need to do is test it. Put it on and see how long. One lady said 2-3 weeks she had hers, and it went a bit darker, but there was no smell, and she was able to use it for about 3 weeks. But I always, under caution, say about 1 to 2 weeks. But someone said 3 weeks, and it still works well. But after about a month, if you have nothing in it, you'll see things growing. So you can try those and see what happens. I like to make smaller batches and use again. But once it's got the glycerin in it, it lasts much longer. And you'll notice the cleanser will last a very long time because the glycerin seems to hold it.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Do you need to rinse off the cleansing lotion or just rub it into the skin and leave it?
You can leave it on because all of the lovely rose, you can leave it right on because you've got all the lovely nutrients of the rose petal and you've got the nutrients of the glycerin, and then you can put the toner on top. It just holds it in. You want the glycerin to keep that moisture in.
So another question related to the first thing: how long? You said it already, but I think maybe someone just wants to hear it again. How long should the rose petals sit in the hot water before straining?
Oh, about 15-20 minutes. I started, and I went on something else. About 15-20, and you know when it's ready because the water will take the color of the rose and your petals will go lighter. So 15, 20 minutes, and then you strain. Or if you wanted to use cold water, you can put cold water and leave it for a day and then strain it, or 8 or 9 hours. But with boiling water, like what we did, 15, 20 minutes, like you're making a cup of tea. What you've just done is an infusion. You're infusing the nutrients from the rose petals into the water, and then you want the water. You can see it's got the color, and the petals have now gone lighter. The nutrients into hair.
Okay. Another question I want to ask was, can you put some remnant in the product? Can you make it? Can you put some of the petals or the remnant of the petals into the product?
Yes. Now, you see, we've got lots of people here with lots of talents. I'm going to do some now, you see. Now, here's my toner. And, you know, as I was pouring it, a little remnants went in there. And you could even put, okay, here's a nice soft one here, or dried one. And it will give it a bit of, what's the word I want? Character, a bit of style. Or what's the word I'm looking for? You can put a little bit in. Then
Personality.
Thank you, my dear. I didn't know the words just then. Give it a bit of personality. You see, there's a lot of people here got lots of skills.
Yes.
You're all so talented. And I'm going to put a bit more. I like the idea. Whoever had that idea, you've now given me. And I'm now going to use this in every other class I do. You see, every time I go to a different class, I learn something new. Now, look at my rose petal with personality. Can you see? It's got bits of and it just gives it it lifts it. Thank you for that. When it's natural, you can do so many different things.
I think it also helps us not to use the label because we know what it is now. The fact that we're seeing the rose in it, the petals.
You don't have to read the label. You know there's real roses in there. And it absolutely looks a fantastic. I've never thought of that. It's got personality. So thank you for that. I've learned. I had to come all the way to Boston to learn about personality in the rose toner. I've got to come again. That's wonderful. Yes. So can you see there's so many different things? Wonderful. Any other questions?
Is it only the red rose you can use?
No, you can use any rose. You know, all the roses have got their lovely, unique scents. Any rose you have.
Can we use other flowers? How long should you dry the roses for?
Brother, I'm going to show you what else you can use.
Your microphone is from my part. I'm not sure about everyone else. Could you repeat what you just said last?
Oh, okay. Yes, you could use any different color rose petals. They all smell different. They all lovely scent, but all rose petals you can use. Keep them, pull them off, dry them, and then store them. Once they're dried, they can be stored. You see, I've got one in the bag here. Let me just show you. Is it just here? Yeah, the dried ones, I just let them dry, and then as I showed in the beginning, you can just fleck them off, dry them, but hold on to them. Many people have got rose bushes in their gardens. When the rose, don't throw the leaves, the petals, I mean. Okay.
What other flowers can we use?
You can use all the different flowers have different properties. And as I said before, I'll ask Sister Keisha, if she'd like me to come back, I can come and show you. I can quickly tell you, marigold, not marigold, dandelion flowers, they come up in the summer. I pick them and I make products with them. Marigold, chamomile, and there are many others. So what I could do, maybe I can do another session where I look at different flowers and different products we can make with those flowers. But there's many. These flowers don't only look, and our Lord is so good. They not only look good and smell good, they've got properties, healing properties that we can tap into, use them for our benefit. So maybe I'll show another class. I'll show you other flowers that we can use, and there are many.
This is a reminder. How long should the roses be dried for?
About 2-3 days, until you can see when they dry, they crisp and they crumble. These are dry. So it's basically get your fresh petals, lay them out on a tray, and leave them somewhere 2-3 days, and they'll dry. And then you can use them as I've used today.
Okay, and just for the purpose of promotion, in the chat, they have Sister Jill, I think, Jill. She's
Yes.
You can put your email address in the chat, and they will be able to send you the thing for those from the Stony Hill. By the way, reminder. So the Stony Hill platform is an international platform. It is based in Jamaica, but you have a lot of Berean. There's a Berean cohort. There's one from Philadelphia, one from Bronx, New York, from Cayman Islands. There are British Virgin Islands. There is Antigua. There are lots of countries represented here on this platform, but it is based out of Stony Hill, Jamaica.
Okay. Well, to add to that, can I just say, what I've done today, we have a recipe and we have the ingredients. If you'd like the recipe and the ingredients, please put your email in the chat. And we've got Sister Gillian here, we see her. And Sister Gillian, she's waving now. If she has your email address, she will send you the recipe for today and the ingredients. As well as that, if you're happy for you to go on our mailing list, every time we have we have many other classes like this. Anytime we have classes, we'll send you out an email of the classes we do. Also, Sister Julian, could you put Cherry Tree website in the chat? There's a website which has lots of different events, loads. You can come and look on the website and see what's going on, and you can contact us about different events. So look at the Cherry Tree website, and also have a look at put your email in, and we will then send you for this lesson ingredients and the recipe, and then we have more. This is one of a series of classes I do. Body care, face care, hair care, soap, all different types of classes. And I'm quite happy to come and do some other ones. But this is just a snippet, it's a sample. It's a 1-hour class. But what we also do, we do a full day class. And in that full day class, we teach you how to make, if it's a body care one, all body care items, toothpaste, deodorant, or body care, face care in one class. You get a kit, and we can send out, if there's a number of you, we can send out the kits to you in any part of the world. We can send the kit out to you, and then you'd come on for a full day. And as it's international, we can adapt the time starting, so starting like about now, and we'll do about 5 hours. And at the end, you'll end up with a number of different products, all homemade. You'll have everything in front of you, all of your ingredients, and labels and recipes, which will be sent out, and then we zoom on and we make. It's incredibly easy, but you would have made your own products, and by the end of it, you wouldn't need to go back to the shop to buy. You would be making your own. So the kits we do a face care, a body care one, we do a hair care, we do a liquid soap making, and we do a hard soap making from scratch. And as well as that, we will teach you how to make your own hand sanitizers. Some of the ones I do, but if you go to the Cherry Tree website, you'll see many other things as well. Okay, so please put your details in the chat. We'll keep in touch. We'll keep you informed of other things we do. Okay.
What's the cost for the class?
Each class is different, so please contact us. And if you contact us, we can give you the cost of the different, and if you let us know what you're interested in, we can give you the cost of the different classes.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, let's move on to our last item. You've done very well. We're going to make a rose face butter. And it's very, very simple. Now, those of you who are making, we're going to do the first part here now, and then I'm going to tell you to put something away for a couple of weeks, because I'll explain. What you're going to need, excuse me, is 4 tablespoons of your rose petals. You're also going to need about 2 tablespoons of rose hip. Now, when the rose dies, what's left is the hip. The hip is very high in vitamin C. You can make syrup and jams out of it, but it's also very hydrating to the skin. It moisturizes, exfoliates, it boosts the circulation and the collagen formation. It reduces inflammation. Again, it treats wrinkles, and it's astringent, so it helps tighten skin. And the properties in rosehip tighten the pores and gives a brighter skin complexion and evens out the skin tone. And that's all from the rose hip. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take the properties of rose petals and rose hip to make an oil. So first of all, what you're going to need is 2 empty jars. And you get a little sticky label as well, because you're going to label it in a moment. And on the label, I've put rose hip and rose petal oil on my label, and I've put today's date. It's important always to label and to date, so you know how long. Many times I've put things without labels, and I don't know what it is. So always label. I've got an empty jar here, and I'm going to now put my 2 tablespoons of my rose petal. 4, I mean. I'm putting my 4 tablespoons of my rose petal into my glass jar. So your rose petals have gone into your jar. Here you go. 4 tablespoons of your rose petal into your glass jar.
Is it crushed?
As it is. For example, the rose petals that I had were quite crushed anyhow, but I could even use the ones that are not crushed, whichever rose petal, however they are. But if they're not crushed, you might need to put more, because as they're crushed, it condenses a bit. So about half a jar full. And these are only approximate. As long as I was saying a while, the oil is covered is the main thing. So now, you want about 2 tablespoons of your rose hip. So 2 tablespoons of rose hip. Let's just get 2 tablespoons of rose hip. One, 2, wonderful stuff. Now, a while ago, we did an infusion with water. Now we're going to do an oil infusion. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get my almond oil again, and or my apricot oil, or whatever oil you have. You can use olive or any oil, especially when you're starting out. Just put some oil so you can actually just go through the process. These oils, apricot oil and almond oil, are lighter. That's why they're good for these products. But I think to get you making, if you've got any oil in the kitchen, use it and try it. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to cover the oil. I'm going to pour. You might need about 60 ml, 70 ml. But it's hard to say exactly, but you want to make sure that all the herbs are covered. So right now, you can see my herbs, my petals and rose hip are covered. Give it a little shake so the oil goes to the bottom. I'm going to give it a stir, actually, making sure the oil gets right down. And you know, good thing I did that, because the oil has sunk down a bit, so I'm going to put a bit more. Make sure I might just put all that in there. You really want your oils, your petals to be covered. I'm going to give it a stir. Should go down a bit, and yes, perfect. You can see, if you can see, tilt it a bit. They're covered. Put the lid on, and those who are making, what I want you to do now is to put this. You can put it on a windowsill or on the kitchen. You're going to put this away for 2 weeks. You're doing a cold infusion. So over the next 2 weeks, all the nutrients from the herb, from the petals, will go into the oil. And it's the oil that we want. So those of you making today, you're going to rose petal and rose hip oil and date it, put a label on it, date it, and then what you're going to do, put it away. Maybe on an alarm or something on your phone or something to remind you. But in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to show you what to do. So if you're making and you've got this far, put this away. And now, 2 weeks later, here we go. This is one that's been sitting for a little while. You can see it's gone darker. Can you see? We give it a little shake because the rose hip goes to the bottom. This is 1, 2 weeks later. So those who are making, you're just watching now, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do, what's going to happen in 2 weeks. So you're clear? So if you're making, you seep your oil, you put the lid on, labeled it, and you're putting it away. I'm now showing you, so just watch now what you'll be doing in 2 weeks' time. Is everyone clear on that? So no one should be making this now because this has been sitting for 2 weeks, and I'm showing you what you'll be doing in 2 weeks' time. So 2 weeks later, you've taken your rose hip and rose petal oil out of your cupboard or wherever it's stored, and now you want to sieve it. Show you what you're going to do. You want to get yourself another empty jar, and then label it rose petal and rose hip oil. You need to get yourself a little piece of any kind of cloth, like a cheesecloth, muslin cloth. Take off your lid, put your cloth on top, and you've got a perfect little sieve here. Can you see? I've put my cloth on top with an elastic band. Can you see that? And now I'm simply going to pour the oil. It's the oil that I want. The rose hip, the rose petal oil. I'm going to pour the oil into another jar. You see it's coming through. Wonderful. What you can do, you can eat my sister when she does it, she lets it so leaves it, and eventually all the oil comes out. Another way you can do it, you can just take it out and physically squeeze all the wonderful oil. But I've got enough for now. This now is my rose hip and rose petal oil. You can put it on your face as it is, on your body, use it as it is. But we're going to turn it into a butter. Now, just like we made beeswax, to turn this oil into a butter, you need an emulsifier. And this is again where my beeswax come in. So we're going to do the same process. I've got my pot here, and the recipe calls for about 3 tablespoons. So I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of my oil that I've just sieved into the pot. 1. While I'm doing that, I'm just going to put the heat on because I'm going to need to heat it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Wonderful. I've got 3 here. Now what I'm going to do, simply add my half a tablespoon of my beeswax. And you know what happens next, don't you? What must we do? We need to melt it. So we're going to put some heat. And again, don't take your eye off it. Make sure you keep watching it. You're going to heat it. But another way you can do it is you can put it in some hot water. You can put it in a jug, put the jug in some boiling water, and it will melt. Takes a little longer, but it will melt. But just for the speed, I'm putting it on a low heat, and I'm going to keep watching it. Then I've got 2 little jars. Might just fill one a little bit, I think. And I've got a little label which says rose, called rose body butter, this one, but it's for the face, this one is. It can be for the face or body, but you have this one for the face because of the properties of the rose and the rose hip. Got a little label on here, little jar. And what's going to happen is, once it's melted, we're going to put some essential oil. You could put any essential oil. You could put rose. You could even put rose. There's a rose essential oil, rose geranium, but I'm just using lavender oil today, so I'm going to use lavender again. But any essential oil you have, you put essential oil in. When it gets cool again, we'll put a bit of essential oil, and then basically all we're going to do is pour it. It's just literally the same process of making beeswax, lip balm, but the quantities are slightly different. Give this a little shake so that it's not having too much direct heat, and then that is all there is to making your own. Is there a question at this time while I'm just waiting for this to melt? Any questions while it's melting? No?
What are the ounces of the jars that you are using?
What's it again?
What are the ounces of the jars that you are using?
Oh, this is a 40 ml. What, just about 1.5. This is about a 1. If you see the size, look at the size of my hand to the size of the jar. It's quite little. And it's this is a 40 ml jar. It's like a little, you know, you get the little jam jars, the little sample jam jars. That's what they are. So you want a jar which can have about 40 ml, 40, 50 ml, about that size. And then you can use any jars. Accordingly, afterwards, you can use different size jars. But this is just, I'm doing a small one, which is about 40 ml. Now, this is all melted. Now, to answer the question before, remember about it's hot now, and it's a little bit hot. You see? So I'm not going to put the essential oil in yet. I'm just going to let it cool for a moment or two. I've got my jars here before I add the essential oil. Any other questions while I'm just giving that a minute or two to cool? Any other questions?
Yeah, these are made from natural ingredients. What's the lifespan of these?
Excellent question. Now, because it's all oil, this can last at least 3 months. I'd say about 3 months, but it can last longer than that. And the reason that, and you don't need any preservative, because oil, when things are made, like we've got the oil and we've got the beeswax, they're not going to spoil. Things spoil when there's water. When it's water, you need a preservative, or you need to use it up quickly. But this we have 3 months because there's no water. And when I make creams, which are water-based, or like aloe vera or I would need to put like grapefruit seed extract, vitamin E, other things to hold it. But because this is oil-based, it would be 3 months, as the book says, but mine is kept way longer than 3 months. But I would recommend 3 months, but I've used it for 3 months.
Lovely, thanks for that.
You're welcome. Any other questions at this point?
Do you use essential oils as preservative, or do you use other preservatives?
Okay. You can. Rosemary rosemary. Actually, rosemary is a good one. There's a rosemary extract, which is a natural preservative. But I even found out recently that rosemary essential oil is quite good, and it happened by default. Because when I make hair products, I put about 4 different essential oils in it. And one lady says, "Can you make me a hair grease without rosemary?" And normally, rosemary is wonderful for hair growth. I put loads of rosemary in it. And this time I said to my sister, "Can you make me a hair grease without rosemary essential oil?" She goes, "Okay." So I made one without it. And a little while down the line, we're seeing black marks go on top of it. And normally, women pick it, it lasts months. And it's fine. But this time, after a short period of time, black bits came at the top of it, showing that there wasn't enough preservative to hold it. So that showed me that the rosemary essential oil really helps with the preservative. But what I use, grapefruit seed extract and vitamin E, I tend to use in my products to hold the products. But I also put quite a bit of a certain amount of essential oils, and that also can hold it as well. But that was something interesting that I learned about the rosemary. But it's but also, as I said, rosemary extract, which is different than essential oil, can also be used as a preservative.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I'm now going to put some essential oil. The recipe asks for about, let's have a look, 10 drops of, I'm going to put lavender. I'm using lavender today. I'm going to put 10 drops of essential oil, and then I'm going to smell. There's 10, and I did just check the heat a while ago, and it's turned hot, so it's not too hot, so it's nice and comfortable to put the essential oils in. So I'm giving that a shake. I want a few more. I love the smell of this. As a general rule, I would put about 25 drops of essential oil to 100 ml of a product. I'm going to repeat that. If I've got a product which is about 100 ml, I can put up to 25 ml of essential oil. So this is about half that. Okay, so I've got about 15 in here. Oh, it smells good, very good. So now, all we're going to do is pour it in a jar. I'm going to stand for this, get a better angle. I've got my jars here. And just like the beeswax, like the lip balm, we're just going to pour. Okay, and what will happen, you're going to see a lot of the beeswax gets melted and hardens at the side. So I'm just going to put it back on the heat for a minute or two and let it melt, and I can top that one up. So it's a little hardened here. Just put it back on the heat, and it should melt very shortly, and then I'll put more back in here. So that is all there is to it, to making. That's all there is to making natural face butter. Any questions before I show us all the things we've made? I'm just going to turn this off and top this up a bit. There we go.
One question, can you use shea butter?
Yes, you can. I do another class where I show you how to make a butter out of shea butter. A butter out of shea butter, yeah. But I can show you that in another class. I show you how to whip it. It's a different process. It's amazing, actually. That's another class. You certainly can. Shea butter is amazing, and it's something I can show you in another class how you can actually whip the shea into love. Because shea is hard. And there's a process where you can just whip it, and it comes into lovely, soft shea butter. That's another class, but you certainly can. Shea butter is amazing. What I'm going to do now I'm just going to put the lids on these because I want this to, it'll take about maybe 15, 20 minutes, but I want it to harden quicker so I can show you. So I'm going to pop this in the freezer for about a few moments. Please remind me before the end of the class to take it back out. I'll be right back. I'm going to put this in the freezer. Don't go away.
Isn't God amazing, people? Isn't God amazing?
Indeed. Wonderful.
Yes.
All things
Look at His creation. But it also is creatures rather. Because we wouldn't know this without the exposure. How simple, how easy, how inexpensive, how relevant. It is amazing. God is
good. God is good. Now,
This is somebody wanted to know, do you use eco-friendly jars and bottles, and do you use darker bottles?
yes.
oh, yes, I do. I'll show you. Hold on. These are in glass jars. The lip balms are in plastic. It's just that it's convenient. I haven't seen any tiny lip balm. There's a glass lip balm which is slightly bigger that I can use. But for the purposes of classes, and I need quite a few, these are quite convenient. But I have got lip balm containers slightly bigger which are glass. And the products when I'm making, when people are purchasing them, we have like dark amber glass jars. So it's fully glass. It's all flush at the side. And when you put a label on them, they look quite nice. That's the jars of all different sizes that I use for the products. But this is our, did that answer the question about the jars? Is that okay, yeah? Now I'm just putting the lid, my lip balm, here's my balm. I can turn it upside down. Whoops, yes, I was checking there. It's not going to fall out. It's a balm consistency. And I'm putting the lids on them. Here's the balm.
Sister Jackie, can you go a little closer to the camera to show the product?
Yes, I can. Can you see that? I'm now putting my lid on. Simple lip balm. So now, let's see what we've made. We have made 5 lovely lip balms. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have made a rose toner. We have made a rose cleanser.
With personality.
Yes, there's a personality one. There it is. I will remember that from Boston. My personality, that's amazing. My personality rose toner. Can't forget that. We made 2 rose body butters. Can you see okay? Should I push it? Are you seeing okay?
Yes, we are.
Now, my question, that's what we've made. Now what I'm going to say is over to you. I know some of you are out there making with me. And I would like to ask anyone who's made, please show. It's at school we say to the children, show and tell. Show and tell. Show us what you made. And if you've tried, try. Who's going first? Who'd like to go first to show us what they've made?
You know what, sister? I haven't made it. I've just seen this. But I've made it in my mind because it seems so easy, so simple. So thank you very much. I've made it in
You're
my mind.
welcome. I'm glad it's in your mind. It's so simple because it's in your mind. In your time, you can
Showing us Ruth.
please show it.
Ruth is showing.
Ruth, please show us, Ruth. Sister Ruth.
With a baby.
I'm here with Blessing and Lemuel. Lemuel can't wait to use his.
Look at that. Show us, please.
Lemuel, come and show your one to Auntie Jackie.
I need to see them. These are my babies. These are my babies. Let's have a look. These are my babies. These are my babies, Mary. These are my students. These are my students. These are my students from my church in Welling. What have you met? Oh, look. There's labels on it. What? Oh, that's it. Keep it close to the camera so we can see. I'm seeing lip balms. I'm seeing toners. And I'm seeing my beautiful babies.
Yeah.
There's Blessing. Wonderful.
Yes.
Now,
They've been with us throughout.
really? Now look at that. Children, and even baby Samuel taking it all in. There's a testimony we start children when they're young. When children make, you're just teaching them skills for life. Thank you, my dear sister Ruth. Wonderful.
If I may say something, everybody, good afternoon and good morning wherever you are. Use this opportunity to say a big thank you to Auntie Jackie because she's been through with us throughout the lockdown, and the first time she introduced Welling Church children to the body butter and then body treatment. I joined them and it was very good. And we've been sending stuff for charity, and just last year, Blessing said, "Mommy, why don't you make something for us to give to people for donations so that we can take our charity boxes to Ghana?" And in fact, I was surprised when she raised that point. And to God be the glory. This year, it really helped us. It did help us. So I will encourage everybody to keep taking part in the class, and I know it will help us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Ruth, for saying that. And no Blessing, she's just going to be just turned 9, and she's been making. They have a ministry where they send all different things to people in need back to Ghana. And Blessing has been selling her products that she learned to make in the class, and she's raised money to send to help others. And this is a 9-year-old child, and her little brother was 5. So teach children. They can set their ministries. They can raise money to do God's work. And this is one way that other people can learn about God. This is one way, and involve the children. Will love it because they're making, they're being used, and other people see Christ in them. Thank you, Sister Ruth, for sharing that. Is anyone else that would like to share? Anyone else brave enough?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sister Jackie. It's been absolutely amazing. I've got all my ingredients here, but unfortunately, I didn't have access to the heat that I needed. So what I've done is just taken down all your notes step by step. So I will make everything, and I will send you photos and everything. So I'll email that over to you. But I've got absolutely all the ingredients, all the steps for each four products. And I also had a thought as well, because I thought about, somebody mentioned hibiscus, using
Yes.
and I think that'd be quite good for, I'm not sure if it's good for the skin, but it's great for the hair. So I was going to make hibiscus and fenugreek seeds infused kind of spray for the hair or oil for the hair. So when I make all of that, I'll definitely send that over to you as well. But thank you so much.
I'm glad you said that, because this week I just did a program where I showed people how to make fenugreek hairspray and hair oil. It's so good for the hair. And I've heard about hibiscus, so that's something we can make in another one. I like all these ideas. Thank you, Sister Sonika. Wonderful. And please send on the pictures, because I can use them to share with others. I much appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else got any questions at this time?
I'm just reminding everyone too that the YouTube link, Dwayne was recording live, so the YouTube link is in the chat. If you did not get it, we can put it in there again, so you can go back and look and make. So for me, I too have most of the products, but my baby got up at the time that we should have started, and he wanted breakfast. So mine went out the window. Because I had the beeswax and the glycerine from the classes that you did at Centurion Bible School of Nature. That's where we met.
That's right.
And I didn't make an infused rose petal oil. It smells lovely. I still have it. It's lovely.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. And just make. It's wonderful. And if anyone is interested in doing a full day class, and if you're abroad and there's a group of you, we could send all the kits out to one time to one place, and we can plan a whole day's making. Get the children involved, and we can make. You can decide what you want to make.
You also have classes for children, right? That you do children's classes.
Yes. Can I say something? Doing this, I started with children. A sister of mine said, Jackie, I've got a little group. Can you do a little class? And I made a little kit, a body care kit, and I had about 30 odd children on Zoom over 4 sessions, and they loved it. And Blessing was one of the first, she was in the first class. And as you can see the result of what Blessing's doing, I do them for children as well. And I just make it more bite-sized, step by step. But Blessing was in the first class. That's how this all started. And during lockdown, I've only been doing this during lockdown, and it started with the class that Blessing was in. So I do a children's one. I do adults one. If you've got a group of people, I could send out however many kits. We arrange a Zoom. We come on Zoom, and we tailor make it to your needs, time-wise, and what you want. I could personally make whatever you want in your kit, and then we make. In the day making. Time for lunch break in between, but we make. And at the end of it, and in your kit, you will have all the ingredients. You will have all the bottles, the jars, the labels, everything that you will need in the kit. And the recipes, and you follow step by step. So that's what we do. That's what I can do. If there's a group of you, definitely, and I can. If it means sending it abroad, I can send abroad, but we can arrange. So it depends what you want. As I said, we do an amazing hair care one. I do skin care. I do soap, making hard soap from scratch, liquid soap, hand sanitizers, all different things. Yeah. So it'll be lovely to come and make more of it again. But I'm happy to do another session like this after your prayer breakfast, prayer walk. Just contact me, Sister Keisha, and I've really enjoyed my trip to Boston. Welling members, have you enjoyed yourself in Boston this afternoon?
Absolutely, amen.
Yes.
Wonderful. And I've got a few Welling members who travelled today up to Boston. We had a great time. So, Sister Keisha, back over to you, and thank you very much. Unless there's any other questions.
Mr. Jackie, we know that there are essential oils and then there are essential oils. So there are some that are not of good grade, I think. What are the better types? Can we just go into the store and buy the regular ones that are on the shelf that you use in infusers?
Once it says 100% essential oil, some of them are fragrance oil. If it's fragrance oil, it's synthetic. But once it says essential oil, then it's good. And we send out, we sell essential oils as well. We do different sizes. We've got like this size, 10 mil, 20 mil, 100 mil. We can do all different sizes, but it's definitely 100% essential oil. That means it's only the oil of the product, and the fragrance ones are synthetic. So make sure you look for 100% essential oil. And if you want larger sizes, we have a ministry where we send out ingredients. All different ingredients I've used here, we can send out anywhere.
And Sister Jackie, could we see the end products from the ones in the freezer?
Thank you for reminding me. You know, if you didn't remind me, that might have stayed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm coming quite close now. So, this is, here we go, I can turn it upside down, it's hard, and it's a lovely balm consistency. Can you see? And that's lovely just to put on your face. Rose hip and petal face butter. Here you go. And that mixture made two. Another one here as well. So this is all of our products. I hope you will go out and make. And you know, anything the shops can make, we can make. I always say, if the shops can make it, by God's grace, we can make it better.
Better. That's
Better.
Amen.
And my family, my sisters inspired me. I started by making little thing here, and then my sister would say, why don't you make deodorant? And I thought, okay, I'll research it. And then I'd say, what about toothpaste and this? And then somebody else would say it. And it's just by the inspiration of other people telling me, try this. You try and you realize you can make anything by God's grace. Thank you all so much.
We're so grateful to you for like what you do, your ministry, and the name of our product line is Heaven Sent. It didn't
That's
say
right,
so.
yes.
Heaven
That's
Sent.
right.
And we are so grateful to Cherry Tree Learning Center as well. And on this platform, which I mentioned before, the Stony Hill Pearl Walk. It originated in Stony Hill, Jamaica. So most of the viewers will be in Jamaica. So you're not only reach Boston, USA, but you're in the homes in Jamaica.
That's amazing.
Children how to make things for themselves, how to begin their businesses, and how to keep themselves healthy.
I can do that.
We also have individuals from Cayman. We have a Cayman cohort. So we have lots of members who are in Cayman as well. We have members who are in New York.
Wow.
From SDA New York, there. We have members who are also in British Virgin Islands and Antigua.
Amazing.
We also have people from we have a member who's joining from England. She said she's from your sister church, but I think she's vacationing in Jamaica right now.
Wow.
This platform is an international platform. So Sister Jackie, you have brought your natural gifts and talents and face care products into the homes of many individuals. And we are so grateful to you because your ministry, God has given you a talent and a gift. And your ministry is very valued. Oh, that more of us would take heed. When parabens and sulfates in these products that we're using that are more harmful to us than good. Where we can learn that we can make things with our natural products that we have wasting around our homes. On behalf of the Stony Hill Pearl Walk and its numerous cohorts from Boston, USA, New York, Philadelphia, Cayman, British Virgin Islands, Antigua. Is there any other place that I left out? And if when I say Jamaica, it's all over Jamaica. Manchester, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. James. It's all over Jamaica at this point. All over
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Where else? Anybody else? We used to have some people from Honduras. Turks and Caicos have been on. And this is our platform. We invite you to come to it anytime. We do have the walk that we do 5 a.m. regular time now, which will be 10 a.m. British time. It's always a blessing. It's a ministry. They have used it to reach souls. We have baptized members through this platform. We're hopefully helping to keep members through this platform. And we keep praying for each other, and we are going to keep praying for you, Sister Jackie, and we're going to ask you to keep praying for us.
Definitely.
I am going to turn it over to what we call it, the deputy head girl, Sister Carla, to give the official vote of thanks. And then to one of the elders, Barbados, somebody from Barbados. We do have members from Barbados, yes. Let me see anything else. Canada, we have from Canada as well.
Praise the Lord. Can I just have a word of prayer to say thank you for this platform? Is that okay?
Yes.
Well, I was going to just say, just to thank the Lord. Okay, let's have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord of Lords, Kings of Kings, Creator of heaven and earth, thank you, Lord, for this platform, this international platform. Thank you for your children all over the world, for making a way that we can come together and we can learn to make. Lord, be with everyone here, and I pray that we can start to make our own and share with others, so we won't have to rely on buying things from the shop. Be with everyone here and go out on a blessed day. For Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. And Brother Dwayne, can you please give us and we're learning the Therapy Learning Center.
Yes. Is it possible? I would just like to add to what Jackie has said. On behalf of Cherry Tree Learning Center, I want to thank all of you for being here this afternoon. It's been an absolute delight and a pleasure to have so many of you on board. You know, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to God. I have been asking God, saying, Father, bring from wherever it is, in the corner of the world they are, Father, bring people on board. And God today has demonstrated to me how He answers the prayers of His children. I want to thank you all. You're all very special people, and forward to being on this platform with them from the all those beautiful countries, the names you mentioned. I've been to some, but I want to go to all now because it just all sounds so beautiful. Thank you so very much for supporting Cherry Tree, for supporting Helen. Jackie is one of my trainers, and so we work very closely together. And God has, orchestrated that this could happen today. So thank you all so very much. God bless you and all your families and your churches. And I pray that we will continue to work together for His kingdom and for the good of our community. I hope to see you all soon again. Thank you so much.
Amen. Amen. Elder Dwayne, can you do the special prayer for Sister Jackie and the Charity Learning Center?
Sure, that's a pleasure. Our Father which art in heaven, we just want to bless your holy name. We give you thanks for your many blessings and for all these things that you have given us for the benefit of your people. Dear Father, we just want to say a special prayer now for Sister Jackie and her team who have given of themselves to teach others of the wellness that you have given us to herbs and things that we have access to. May be, dear Father, that even as we would have watched, may we be edified and be willing to teach this to others also. And ultimately, we may be able to bring souls to Christ. Thanks for your love and your mercies. Continue to strengthen, prosper, and may her business swell and be overflowing with all the resources that it needs to go far and wide and continue to bless and enrich and keep others. Be with us even as we shall depart from here this morning. May we go with new vision to spread your words. These we ask in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Bye. I think this is what heaven is going to be like when you even know who you're reaching. And when you get there, a little girl may come to you and say, you, Auntie Jackie, is why I am here. That's what heaven is about.
Wow, that's wonderful. Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Absolutely. And I'd love to come again.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I made my stuff.
Okay, Jackie, thank you.
I made it, but I at home.
You made it? Okay, wonderful.
No, I made it to come on, but my stuff isn't home.
Right. You can make it next time. Wonderful. I'll send you the recording.
All right, darling.
God bless. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Oh,
everyone.
Sister Jackie, do you have the YouTube link, or do you want that I send it to you?
Oh, could you send it to me, please?
Okay, perfect.
And then I'm going to send it to others who would require it. I can send it to them, and I'll send them the recipe and the ingredients.
Yes.
And just
we would love to have you again. You know, the first class that I experienced with you was when you were making the food down. And I'm like, oh my God.
I remember. I'll come again. And can you, your brothers and sisters, to put their emails so that they can get the recipes and the ingredients?
And like me, that's how I got informed, because I gave my email, and everything that you have in YouTube, you do send me some stuff.
Really?
Yeah. That's everyone.
You know when you send, you don't know where it goes. I just press send. Next week, a call from you.
Exactly.
That's amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Just by pressing send.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that was a lot. Thank you so much.
Oh, must go. That is been wonderful, wonderful. But I must go. I don't want to go, but I must go. God bless you, my sister.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think at the height of the presentation, there were 68 members on board. Knowledge from you, sister. And that's 68 devices, not all the members, because there are lots of children in the household.
Yes.
Multitude of people today, Sister Jackie.
68. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
68?
That's devices, 68 devices, because I know that in some households you have
You have more. Yes.
And your platform is for kids.
But then there's another platform for children.
You have a platform for kids, I see.
I do a children's Sabbath school. And actually we're having a children's day soon. I can invite you.
Oh, perfect.
And you just and I'll send you the link, and you can come internationally and see our children, what we're doing for Children's Day. That's on the 8th.
That would be awesome.
18th December.
Oh, and we also, that's my birthday. It will be 4 exact day.
Oh, it might be too early. It's 11:30.
Okay. We also, 11:30, that means it would be what time? It would be 6:30 our time?
Yeah.
Okay. That's my baby's birthday. I'll let him see if we can have some fun with other kids at that time.
Wonderful.
And we also have a children's cookery class with Auntie Jackie, as we call her, Cook Along with Auntie Jackie. And that is a free online children's cookery class. And we're having our next one next week, Sunday. And we're starting next Sunday at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. till 4 p.m. And the children will be cooking lots of different goodies. We had one about 6-7 weeks ago, and it was so well received. And the children wanted to have it again. So we will be wanting to have it next Sunday, 2 and 4 p.m. So we can send you the link. We can send you the information.
Yeah, definitely. Next Sunday.
Yes, please. So that's 9 a.m. US time. Please send me the link. I'll share with the Stony Hill platform. They have lots of things. I know Mr. Lita would be willing to go cook.
Right there.
And have we got your email address, Amoye? Is that how I call your name? Do we have your email address?
Everything from her.
Yes, Keisha. I've got Keisha's email address.
Oh, yes. Lovely.
That's Keisha, isn't it? Is that Keisha?
Yes.
I'm going to pass it on to Sister Gillian, and she'll send you out the flyers.
Please do. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful.
I'm excited to have more support for our class next week, our children's class.
Yes, that's going to be exciting. Getting children to make. Absolutely getting children to make. Wonderful. Wow. Have a good day.
Thank you all so much.
Yes, Patricia, I'm happy to come again. We arrange a time and we can do some other things.
Definitely.
Definitely. It's wonderful. Thank you so much. It's so lovely to visit Boston and Jamaica and all these places around the world. That's amazing.
Some people are sending me their emails. I'm putting it in the chat as well.
Wonderful. And we also, once we get the email, we can then send you the recipes and ingredients for today's session. And then also we'll send them out next week's session, which is a cooking, and the week after Children's Day.
I will be ending the YouTube broadcast now, so only those who are on Zoom will be able to continue, but the YouTube link will be ended at this point.
Thank you.